Hello and good evening and welcome to this evening's episode of Too Much Time on Our Hands. No Tom this evening, sadly. But everyone, wave. This is what they want. This is what Tom wants.
That's what Tom wants, yeah.
Yeah. So everyone introduce themselves. Oh, I'm Duncan, as I'm working so smoothly through covering acting as host tonight, and it's obviously entertaining Dan, who is to my bottom, woof woof, where he belongs. Dan, say hi.
Hi, hello everyone.
And I don't know where Russ is, but Russ, say hi.
Hello. Oh, I was thinking it was about 50-50 what podcast name you were going to say when you started.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of last podcast. No, I've actually been listening to a lot of Critical Role.
Me too.
Exandria Unlimited, because I'm catching up on that. I'm just way behind.
So
this evening, as you can tell from possibly if you can see our names, we are going to be touching on Halo, because it is released.
Touching on your Halo.
Touching on your Halo. Getting through those hoops. Your hoops, if you're lucky. But Dan, what else are we doing this evening?
We're going to do a bit of news, we're going to do a bit of a catch up, and then news! And then also I want to do like a look for. There's so much coming out over like the next month and a half, that I kind of want to have a look forward to, like all the things that are coming out from, I don't know, maybe from tonight when Halo comes out, and then also maybe Friday there's a TV series that's back on television that I'm very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so maybe we could talk about that as well. Should I get cracking with the news? I get the feeling I should have.
Let's
News it up.
News. Okay, random tab. Where are we going? Oh, okay. Let's start fun. Blizzard employee holds public press conference detailing experience with harassment and alcohol-soaked culture.
It just
Just
seem very toxic there, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it seems massively toxic. Attorney Liz Bloom, this is on IGN, and Christina, current Blizzard employee, held a press conference outside of Blizzard headquarters in Irvine, California today to share their story about the alcohol-soaked culture of sexual harassment at the company. It's kind of amazing that it all just seems to be being swept under the rug. Like, not much seems to be happening.
I think the problem is that they're like, but we're making loads of money, so like, what do you want us to do here? Change?
Yeah. There are loads of companies that have pieces of shit working for them, but the general culture of Activision Blizzard seems to be just pieces of shit. So I've personally stopped buying Activision Blizzard games because I want nothing to do with them at all. But it's just awful. Like, nothing seems to be changing, and like, it's no matter how much people are trying to push back. I don't know whether you saw all this about Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards, about like how they're not going to, aside from the nominations, they're not going to have Activision Blizzard involved at all. And everyone's like, well, maybe you've actually got the opportunity to kind of push ahead and actually make a difference here with something like a tentpole moment like the Game Awards. So yeah. Sorry, I'm very distracted by the fact that
there's a lot of thirst for Dan and his new do.
Well, no, or not. I think it's like 50-50. I think Dan's on the fence. Nicola hates it, and Steve's all in. So Steve's always all in. Bit of a struggle, but we get there.
They've got real like it's going to take a lot to check, and like you can't, like you say, they've tried changing a few things, but like they're gonna have to dismantle it and start from scratch. Like,
so the attorney is well known for taking on high-profile sexual assault and harassment cases that represented in cases involving Bill O'Reilly and Bill Cosby. So hopefully something will actually come from this.
Just something, it desperately needs to change. But I mean, that's driving cultural change in a large organisation is incredibly difficult.
Yeah,
takes a very long time, and has to come from the top, which it doesn't seem to be here.
No, it's well, the top seems to just be there making, like, the problem we've got is they tried selling this on, well, think of the people that actually work there that need the jobs, you know, think of those, the ones that are making the game. So yeah, I would, except for the fact that Bobby Kotick, the piece of shit that runs fucking Activision, is the first person to to just fire people when they become a bit expensive, really, and makes him a ton of money. He got his bonus last year on the basis they fired about 30 games makers. Words failed me towards the end there, but you understand what I mean.
Well, they were the
He got
volunteers in
massive bonus
2012,
for
weren't they? The games makers.
that. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, the other thing would be shareholders. Really, is where that's where also the push is, because that's where the money is.
Yeah, and I mean, there are also people that can exercise pressure on an organisation. I don't know what the corporate structure is of Activision, if they're privately owned or
what's
publicly
happening?
traded or what, but they can, shareholders can exercise a lot of pressure.
Like what's
And-
happened with.
PR can.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's what's happened with Royal Dutch Shell. Is because there was, I don't know if he's quite a majority shareholder, but such a significant shareholder from a more environmental green campaign. That's why they're getting potentially split up to separate out the oil and gas from the renewables. They're trying to get around it because they're
Pieces of
crafty.
Yeah,
Well,
although
I'd say that.
they all like
Yeah.
to have their renewables wing that they can use as a bit of greenwashing.
Yep.
Yep. I kind of, I might be a bit fired up tonight. Certain members of government have got me slightly pissed off. So
This
So,
is the
you
other
know.
thing. They might have been taking advice from the Conservative Party about how to just carry on regardless and get away with it.
Did you see the video I sent of Boris holding the press conference? And it slowly,
Yeah.
you see behind him, you hear a muffled Last Christmas, and you hear the number 10 door open, and piece of shit. Anyway, it's don't buy Activision Blizzard products for the time being. Don't spend money on any of this.
Do they actually have any good games out at the moment anyway?
Call of Duty, and it's kind of flopped. It's not done terribly, but
If there was one game that was going to be the product of a toxic masculinity fueled workplace, it's fucking Call of Duty.
But it's not, though. It's Blizzard that's been the problem here. So you're thinking like World of Warcraft and Overwatch and what's the other one? Heroes of the Storm, the other one they do? And Diablo. They're not the games that you would expect, I suppose, if you were going with stereotypes. But it turns out that anyone can be a piece of shit. So who knew? However, Activision as a company are a dreadful company on the whole anyway. So just don't buy their products, and hopefully they might become a slightly better company. They're making companies like EA look practically like godlike, and that takes some doing. So it's still a lot of talk about the hair. Jamie likes it. That's nice to know. Steve says I should have touched Dan up more when he was at mine. Always welcome, Steve. You know that. And Steve, by the way, from the Marveling Marvel podcast, the fabulous Marveling Marvel podcast. Thanks for joining us tonight, Steve. And apparently, I always look fabulous. Just prefer the long hair. That's Nicola.
Is it just something to
It would
hold
be
on to?
it would be a push to say that your hair is short at the moment.
I'll tell you what. Since this is a thing, hang on. It's still like,
That is long hair.
yeah. It's just
Slightly
kind of
less
pushed back at
leonine
the
than it
moment.
was before.
Yes, yeah. It's so much more comfortable as well. Look, right,
Yeah, got
hair
it all
talk
chopped
done, right?
off just in time for the proper chill of winter.
Oh, it's because I like wearing hats, Russ. Just can't find any fuckers that fit my head.
Yeah, you weren't very hat compatible before, were you?
Never been to a hat.
Well,
guy.
shall we give final judgment on Dan's hair? Russ, do you like it?
I like it. Yeah,
Are we really doing this? Okay, cool. Thanks.
I love it. I think it looks good. Everyone else's opinion doesn't matter now, Dan. We like it. You know that once it's said on this podcast that if it's something, it is the fact.
It's now
It is
canon.
the truth. It is canon. Dan's hair is fine, fabulous, and he looks amazing. Everyone else, you're wrong. If you say something different.
I'm perfectly willing to let people have their own opinion on this, but because there's nothing I can do about it now unless I just start get extensions, I suppose. But I'm not going to do that. So
extensions or just fully bald.
I've got such a round head, like it would. I'd look like Hey Arnold. I think it's gone past round and like the hair,
Like a little cue ball with a
hides,
face drawn
like-
on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think-
Mr. Potato Head for real.
and also, if I shave my head and I stand next to Steve, like Steve Steve's beard is much better than mine. So like, I'd be embarrassed really more than anything. He'd show me up. We done now with this? Can we move on now?
Yes.
Halo Infinite's open world was reportedly cut down from the size of a Zelda-like size. I read that wrong, but you get the idea. So apparently, it's as much of 2/3 of the original planned game are reportedly been removed because it was just too big.
I'm guessing that's like mainly empty space though that they've taken out.
Yes, I'm guessing so. I'm guessing it just got boring
Because it's quite easy. Like you can make an open world game as big as you want. There's always stuff about, oh, look how big the map is compared to this. You can make it as big as you want. What's difficult is filling that map with interesting stuff and not just having miles and miles and miles of nothingness.
Well, Dan used to have a lot of hair. You could probably fill it with
well, I thought we'd done quite well because I said apparently it's too big, and none of you said that's what she said. Congratulations, we're all growing as human beings.
I
We're all getting
thought it,
older. Yeah.
but I was like, I'm going to show that I'm mature.
Apparently, they were actually going for like a Zelda-like experience from this, but I just like people want to run around and shoot things. So, you know.
Yeah, the fact that the Halo campaign has launched like 3 hours ago is probably why nobody's actually watching this at the moment.
Yes,
I certainly would
reason
rather
why,
be playing
Russ.
Halo.
Yeah, you very nearly were.
I'm quite excited about this because it sounds
me too.
it's sounding like they've done what all games companies should do, which is listen to Russ and do exactly what I want and don't care about anyone else. So it sounds like they've really managed to finally recapture the feel of Bungie era Halo. So
But in a
Halo
completely different style
2/3, but brought up to date. So I think like a lot of the reviews have said it's the biggest change that Halo has undergone, and also it's closest to how it originally was at the same time. I just never found. I found the Halo 4 and 5 stuff confusing. You had to read too many books to understand what was going on, and it's not as much fun shooting robots. It just isn't.
Russ was out there with his John 117 helmet on, just shaking his fist at the people.
This is what
riding
I
their
care
bikes on
about.
the
Everyone
pavement.
else was over at Activision telling them to clean their act up, and I was over at 343's building going, make it so that I don't have to read the wiki to know who everybody is.
Well,
I really enjoyed
five-
Halo 4.
I thought Halo 4
Halo 4 was
fine.
alright, but
Halo 5 was.
I didn't have a fucking scoop what was going on until I'd done some background reading, which I don't. I am not going to read any Halo novels.
No, I
You
just
don't.
what
No, I've already
was,
slipped and started reading some 40k ones. I'm not going as far as to read Halo novelizations as well.
they had a whole good little cartoon, animation series.
Yeah, don't have time for that
Leading up.
bullshit anymore. All this extended
Halo
universe
Legends, the Halo Legends
meta
one.
media stuff. It's all great when you've got time for it, but I just want to play the game, and ideally a little text box would come up and fill me in on the plot. That's fine.
Part of the fun of this one apparently is finding all the audio logs, though. You going to do that?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, as long as I can vaguely understand what's going on. Instead of just a bunch of new aliens appearing and talking about mantles.
Ross sounds like you should be in a home already.
So I do now vaguely understand what happened in Halo 4 and 5, but you had to, like, all the stuff about the didact and the librarian is not emergent through the gameplay from Halos 1 to 3. You can play those games, complete them, and have no idea who those characters are unless you're going to dig through the terminals and read all the background text and stuff. You don't know anything about them, and they're like the main narrative driving force in Halo 4. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's sounding really good. It looks a lot better than those pre-release scenes that everyone derided so much, which is probably a little bit unfair, but it was concerning.
It sounded like they went for this massive game that just looked like absolute shit.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like what they were going for was like, here's a new Far Cry game. It's massive. You'll have to do the same thing 20 times. And it's like, okay, cool, brilliant. It's just what I've always wanted.
Yeah, it does sound like the open worldness of it is kind of, it's a bit of marketing gloss, really. It's not truly an open world, but I don't think a Halo game would work like that.
It is an open world game, so like you can.
No, it's got like a hub, and then you go, right, I'm going to do this mission, then that one, then that one. It's not like you talk about Breath of the Wild, where you could literally, if you wanted to, you could stroll straight up to Ganon as soon as you come out of the box, more or less, and go and do whatever. And this, it's very gated. You do this bit, then you do that bit, then you do that bit. But that's fine. That's how Halo campaigns work best.
Breath of the Wild is a very unique Zelda experience. So and that did its thing in the sense that it kind of moved Zelda forward into something completely different as well. Not completely different, but slightly different. I think it's I'm excited about this. The reviews are incredible as well for Halo.
Yeah.
But I haven't played the multiplayer, and the reviews for that are excellent as well.
No, I've been steering clear of that.
Because you'll get beaten.
Because I'll get beaten mercilessly, and I still like to cling to my Halo 3 glory days when I was actually vaguely okay.
We should. I've been threatening this. We should find a game that we want to do and do a whole podcast of us playing the game while we're playing it.
I don't know how we could do that over Zoom and playing a game at the same time.
I think we could do it.
Wouldn't you do it over Discord?
Isn't
that fundamentally what Discord is?
And
I suppose if you can run the game windowed and then have Zoom next to it, that'd probably work.
Oh, speaking of
PC might explode.
Speaking of 40k novels, I did have the thought that if we were ever going to do a Patreon, one of the tiers would be once a month one of us reads a 40k novel, like an audiobook. That's all I got. So
wow.
Really, at Patreon?
Pretty sure you're not allowed to do that.
I'm pretty sure you're not. The other thought I had was slash fiction. Like that's how we'd bring slash fiction back if people started paying us for it.
So I think the conclusion here is we're not doing a Patreon.
Probably not.
No.
We did have like over 900 streams this week. I have no idea why.
What we do is very much not worth money. It's barely worth people's time.
No, so thank you, by the way, for spending your time watching it. Steve just sent me a picture. He's watching it on the big screen. So, thanks.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I know, right?
I find that very strange.
Anyway, Sonic 2 movie trailer coming tomorrow, and we've got a new poster, and it looks pretty fab, I think.
Did you see the first one?
Well, yes, I did, yeah.
I just don't. Is that something the world's crying out for?
Is Russ a bit grumpy today?
No, I just don't like the same with the first one. If you're looking for culturally relevant properties, Sonic the Hedgehog is not at the top
he's forgotten his rug.
He's not really in the zeitgeist at the moment, is he?
I'm not listening to this, Russ.
Hey, I love Sonic. I love Sonic. Never played Mario games. Always, I had a Mega Drive and a Dreamcast. Love Sonic, but he's not been relevant since about 2001.
There's a great documentary series on Netflix. We'll get to this when we get to what we've been up to, I suppose. But if we get to what we've been up to, but there's a great documentary series on Netflix, and I'll go through one of the things they cover in it. It's really, really cool, really, really good. I'm excited about Sonic the Hedgehog. I want to see Idris Elba voicing Knuckles for starters. Just the idea of Idris Elba voicing Knuckles, which is something that I'd uniquely quite like to experience from Idris Elba, but is something that amuses me. So I kind of I'm interested.
Yeah, that'll be good. I imagine he put about 5 minutes work into it. Bless him.
I know. You know what he's like. He might be into it. GTA Online is getting a Franklin story expansion set years after GTA 5.
Oh, nice.
It's going to feature Dr. Dre.
As in,
nice.
But this is still an online thing.
Yes.
God damn it! Do some single player DLC for Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
just
is grumpy this evening.
No, so just take 6 months off making all the money in the world.
Yeah.
And just do a little single player expansion, just a little one. Be brilliant.
So, as part of that story, GTA 5 radio host and GTA Online co-writer DJ Pooh will contact Franklin to mention a potential client, Dr. Dre. Dre has lost his phone, which is full of unreleased new music. You'll be tasked with securing tracks and returning them to the legendary artist. And you can do this solo or with a crew. So you can just do the mission online.
So it is a single player thing.
Yeah, but it's online.
But like, are you playing as Franklin? Because you don't in GTA Online, do you? You're your own character.
I'm assuming you are playing as Franklin. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No, you'll be working with Franklin himself, Chop the dog, and a hacker.
Right. Okay. So it is still online. You are your online character.
Yeah. Still though, sounds quite fun.
It's just to be competitive in GTA it's difficult to say, isn't it? In GTA Online these days, you need to just go and drop thousands of pounds on shark cards to buy all the cars and things that you need.
I think you can just do this by the sounds of things, Russ. I know it's dark and there's no clouds for you to shout at, but is this going to be like a running theme? Are you going to be mad at the next story? Guillermo del Toro reveals the Stephen King story he would love to have adapted, which is Pet Sematary, apparently.
I mean, I think that could have been quite cool, couldn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I would like to have seen Guillermo del Toro adapting Pet Sematary. Just a quick one. Just dived in there. Thought it was fun.
Quick news.
Another quick one. Quick news. Another quick one. We don't really need to spend too long on. Venom 3 already in the works.
What? I haven't even seen Venom 1.
Is there a Venom 2?
There is a Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage. That's what it's called.
So, okay, explain. Are Venom and Carnage different characters?
Yes.
Okay. They're both kind of stringy,
aliens.
gooey things.
Alien symbiotes, yeah.
Right. That's what I said, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
Stringy,
cool.
gooey things is what I heard, but yeah, sure. We're getting a trailer. We're getting a trailer for the Halo TV series at the Game Awards tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, that could be quite cool.
Which
Also,
is fine,
have you seen the new trailer
the Game Awards was a
for
Black Blizzard Activision? But yeah, sure.
the trailer for Spider-Verse 2?
Mm-hmm.
Across the Spider-Verse.
on the
Very
list,
excited
mate.
about that.
It's on the list, but we'll just talk
Oh,
about it.
what?
now.
You were talking
yeah.
about Spider-Mans. Oh no, you weren't. You were talking about Carnage and Venom.
Venomans.
They're Spider-Man adjacent.
Elements. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks incredible, right?
Are we
Like,
talking
you've
about it
seen
now? I'm
Spider-Man's-
super excited
Spider-Man,
about that. That is
Yeah,
the
might as well.
best Spider-Man film.
Yes, it is.
That's my hot take.
I like the other Spider-Man films, but that is my favourite Spider-Man film.
I like
great.
most of the other Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
The Raimi ones, the current ones. I've not seen the Andrew Garfield ones, but they feel very unnecessary.
I didn't mind them. I thought they were all right. The first one was much better than the second one.
Yeah.
But I thought they were fine. They weren't brilliant. They weren't awful. They were just there. Whereas the Spider-Man 2...
Originals, like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2.
A Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2 is
That's phenomenal.
one of my
Yeah.
favourite Spider-Man films.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
They did the tentacles are hardly ever CG for the most part. They had 16 people puppeteering them. So there's 4 people controlling each arm, which is why they're so expressive and they pull little expressions with their little horrible claw things. So well done.
It really is. Yeah. Halo TV series. We excited about Halo TV series while we're at it? Talking all about Halo tonight?
Yeah, because that one went like. Do you remember they had a huge thing, like they launched that Halo TV app.
But they had a whole. I mean, Forward Unto Dawn was actually really cool. I really enjoyed it.
That's the one with the kids in the academy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where it's Thomas Lasky as a cadet.
Yeah.
And then there was that other series, which is the guy that, what's his name, Jameson Locke, the Oni agent who becomes Spartan. So there's that one as well.
Yeah.
But like they went big on doing TV stuff, and then that all went quiet for a while, didn't it?
I really liked the podcast they did as well. They've just done another podcast that I don't know whether I put that in the stories in the end. A Spotify exclusive, the Halo podcast. The last one was really fucking good as well. So
One of the first podcasts I ever listened to was the Bungie podcast, like way back when. That was really good.
Yeah, before Bungie became a bit annoying, but yeah. More stories. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl has announced its first DLC character. It's Garfield. And the best tweet I saw was someone saying, "Can't wait to beat the shit out of Garfield," which amused me no end. So
is this like Smash Brothers but with different people?
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
This is very far down my give a shit list.
Includes Ren and Stimpy, SpongeBob SquarePants, and other Nickelodeon mainstays.
I love a Nickelodeon mainstay.
Mainstay. Yeah, I don't know why I said it funny, but I did. So deal with it.
Well, does that include Paw Patrol? Because they're on Nickelodeon.
Probably would, yeah. Probably would. I would imagine. What was your favourite Nickelodeon character then?
I don't know.
This is all stuff that I only saw at friends' houses, so I'm not as familiar with them.
Rocko's Modern Life, mate, or either Ren or Stimpy, I suppose.
Well, the Rugrats was Rugrats Nickelodeon.
Rugrats was Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Rugrats was amazing.
Evil Plankton always amused me. I love Evil Plankton. The monorail was perfect.
Here's a fun story. Colin Farrell will star as Penguin in the Batman spin-off series for HBO Max.
Okay, cool. So like a Penguin series.
Yeah.
Right, again,
Interesting.
Henry Zabrowski. So they've missed another perfect trick.
I agree. But he does look fucking good as Penguin. I'll accept Colin Farrell as Penguin, so yeah. Dan says Pete and Pete are still his favourite Nickelodeon. It's still his favourite Nickelodeon show. That was a fucking great show, and would love to see them in a beat 'em up game. Me too.
I'm not familiar with Pete and Pete.
The two brothers called Pete and Pete. They were just. I can't remember much about it, but it was weird. I remember that much. I had a great theme tune, and I can't remember the theme tune, but it was great.
Nickelodeon really introduced a lot of that, like late 80s, early 90s stuff where cartoons started to get interestingly weird. So you look at stuff like Ren and Stimpy, it is crazy. And there wasn't a lot out there before then. That was
Rocko's
like
Modern Life was as well.
I remember Rocco. Where did we watch it? But yeah, that maybe Tom. Yeah, that was. That had quite a cool theme tune, from what I can vaguely remember of it.
Do you know what had a great theme tune? Doug. Doug had a great theme tune as well. Yeah, Colin Farrell, eh?
Yeah, well, that's it. That would be. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it'd be good. But again,
I think he looks pretty cool as the Penguin in this.
Yeah,
and he looks like he's having enormous fun doing it.
It might be really out of touch here.
Yeah.
On the popular culture podcast, where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to do some research.
Have you not watched the Batman trailer?
No.
Oh man,
it's not out yet, but he's the Penguin in the new Batman trailer with
he doesn't look like him. He's unrecognisable.
With what's his name, Edward Cullen in it.
Yeah, R-Pats. Did we decide Robert Pattinson or R-Bats?
I like R-Bats.
I thought it was R-Bats.
R-Bats. We'll go with R-Bats then. Yeah.
I was going to try and take. This is a Dunkerdote. I was going to try and take Phil Knuckles when he came up to Glasgow to go to the Necropolis, because that's where they did some of the filming. And it's called the Necropolis, so it's awesome. But that's where they did the filming. Glasgow, good for Batman and zombies.
There you go.
Because Glasgow often doubles for New York, doesn't it?
Well, in this case, it was Philadelphia in World War Z.
Ah.
Yeah, similar architecture style.
Yeah, so and grids.
They can dress it up like that quite easily.
We're getting a Shang-Chi sequel. Has either of you guys watched it yet?
Watched it.
I'm really excited.
It's really good.
Yes, I watched it. I watched it.
You said you hadn't watched it. Have you seen Shang-Chi or not?
Yes, I've seen. I watched it.
Hey,
I watched Shang-Chi. I've actually watched it. I'm pretty up to date.
I thought it was really good. Like I really enjoyed it. It was a nice sort of refreshingly different from Marvel movies so far,
I
but still
love-
retained the core DNA. I really liked it.
Or
Yeah.
in the post credits sequence, that is amazing as well.
That was really Awkwafina
I won't say too much.
she's like she's the MVP. She was really good. It did struggle a little bit going sort of into spoilery bits here to keep her relevant all the way through, and she did have a little bit of that "hey, you're just really good at this now" thing happening, but too much of an enjoyable character for that to be a problem.
yeah, it was. I loved it. I thought it was. It goes into my top 10 of Marvels because I loved it. So
And
much.
it did really well, didn't it? So I'm not surprised they've got it's got a sequel, because they must like Marvel must have these things like ready to go. It's literally like, okay, if it makes this much money, then this happens.
I mean, it must link with the Eternals somehow. Does it link with it, or the Eternals aren't linked at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
It
It's just
probably
those-
will eventually.
It's just those
I hope-
rings seem like they
If
might
you want to
do.
hear more on our thoughts on Marvel's Eternals and Shang-Chi, there are a couple of podcasts up there that you can go listen to. We just do a spoiler cast.
Well,
However, I've seen Eternals. I enjoy how little it has to do with the rest of the MCU. Like
That's
it
nice.
exists in the universe, but it hasn't got a great deal to do with the rest of it, which is really nice. It does its own thing, and I really liked Eternals. So we are getting on Game Pass. They've got some games coming to Game Pass. There's some exciting ones here, Russ. I'm excited because I get to experience something that you got to experience here. So we're getting Anvil, Archvale, Final Fantasy 13-2. You ready, Russ?
Mm-hmm.
Lawn Mowing Simulator.
It's coming to Game Pass. Honestly,
It's coming
give it
to
a go.
Game Pass.
They've introduced, they've brought streamers into it now, mate. It's getting serious. Because it does have to be said, trying to edge around, like, so you got like levels that are like orchards with like rows of apple trees, and trying to do like the little circles around all the trees before you can start going up and down. It was frustrating. So now you can hop off your mower, get the strimmer out, do all the fiddly bits, and then get back on and finish that mother
Is
off.
it like a timed challenge?
So there are sort of challenge modes, but the main game is much more meditative than that. You do have like a target time, but I don't think you get very heavily penalised if you go over it. It's more about being careful. So if you damage the ground or mow down flowers or bump into stuff, you'll get penalised for that much more than going over time. So like, especially when it's raining, you've got to be careful. Like if you try and make too tight a turn, you'll leave tracks in the ground and churn up the grass a bit. You get penalised for
you
that.
drift it.
I mean, you can, but you'll get nastily penalised.
But you can drift it.
But again, streamers to the rescue there.
Rubber Bandits, Stardew Valley, Townscaper, Warhammer 40k Battle Sector, Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator, Halo
Space
Infinite.
Warlord Organ Trading Simulator.
Yes, indeed.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, me too. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, Aliens Fireteam Elite, which is a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Let's give that a go.
Among Us, which we should totally play again. It's a lot of fun, that game. And The Gunk comes on December 16th, which is meant to be amazing. So
Nice.
some great games coming to Xbox.
Get on Lawnmower Simulator.
I'm going to. I'll get on the Lawnmower Simulator. Yes. Charlie Cox will return as Marvel's Daredevil. You hear about this? Do you see this?
No. So they're bringing it
No,
back.
but I know there's a lot of rumours that he's going to turn up in various things.
Yeah, they've announced that he is going to be the Daredevil in the MCU.
Yay.
They're not sort of specifying TV, film. Because there's heavy rumours that he's in the next Spider-Man.
I get the feeling he is in the next Spider-Man.
And I've not seen today's Hawkeye, but it's pretty...
I haven't watched any of them yet.
So there's a definite link, hint to Daredevil in the last episode.
Oh, really?
Which is also the last episode of Hawkeye, one of the best MCU things I've seen. It's really good. Episode 3, I think it is, or 4, whatever last week's one was.
I
Yeah,
watched
episode
something.
3. really, really good. Like an excellent hour of telly.
Might have to watch them at some point then.
It's good. Hawkeye.
I will watch them at some point.
It's fucking good, man. It's a Shane Black Christmas action buddy comedy.
Oh really?
It's
Christmas
really, really, really
action
good.
buddy comedy.
Yeah, I mean that's what he does.
In other news, PlayStation's working on a rival to Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, it's only about 10 years late, but great. Well done.
See what happens there. Jamie says he would love to consume more Daredevil. I'm like, I'm all in. I love the Daredevil series. I thought it was great.
It was. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't. It's difficult to canonically link into their current stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's way too violent for Disney.
Yeah.
Well, Disney have bought Stars, haven't they? So that's got quite a lot of violence.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think if we do get more Daredevil, it will be toned down a bit.
I don't know. We're gonna get Deadpool.
But that's kind of its own thing, isn't it? If they're talking like it's going to be more in line with the violence levels that you see in the rest of the MCU, I suspect, which is very bloodless and cartoony violence, whereas Daredevil was like you felt how much everything he did hurt all the time. Yeah. And there was some pretty grim stuff. That like the fight in the prison with
so good.
Like he just ends up covered in blood from head to toe. You would not get that in a Marvel movie.
We'll see.
So yeah, interesting.
Russ, Magic Mike's Last Dance. We're getting another Magic Mike film. You excited?
Hugely. I've not seen any Magic Mike films.
Have you not?
No, I've not. I mean, my wife will be excited.
Does she like the Magic Mike?
I mean, they are meant to be pretty good, aren't they? The second one is meant to be genuinely really funny.
Yeah. So yeah. Last of Us HBO series cast Nick Offerman as Bill.
I mean, I'm always interested to see Nick Offerman in anything.
I can't remember who Bill is, if I'm honest with you, but I am quite excited, as you say, to see Nick Offerman in a thing. That's all the news I've got.
He's like a random thug in one of the first series of 24.
Is he?
Yeah, Jack Bauer like kicks him through a 4x4 or something. He's like one of those.
A 4x4.
He's one of those like random plot elements that shows up in 24 to slow things down because, as good a hook as it was, there's not enough stuff to keep them going for 24 hours. So they're constantly like, oh shit, who's this guy? I'm going to hold you up for 5 minutes. He's one of them.
Is that?
Just need more toilet breaks.
When they really ran out of ideas and his daughter had to fight a cougar.
Yeah,
as well.
Is it because she spilt the cougar's drink? Was she in Miami?
It did get a bit ridiculous though, didn't it?
It did. Like in season 2.
They should in the first episodes they should have just had a meeting. They go, look, right, okay, are any of the CTU employees moles? If you could tell us now, it would save a lot of time. You always wait until episode 12, then you kill a bunch of those security guards in the red shirts who've really got terrible job prospects.
Did you do all the background checks on this guy? No, I forgot again. Damn it. Ah, silly me. What's the worst that could happen?
Every bloody time.
Yeah. Yeah, it got a bit silly, didn't it? Right. Let's do what you've been up to, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Duncan, what have you been up to?
Okay, well, since the last time we did this, I actually did go to the cinema.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been to the cinema. I went with my eldest son, so that was emotional for me.
I think I know what you went to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did actually I nearly got emotional in the cinema because it was the first time properly going with my eldest son, and it was the cinema. First time in God knows how long. A long time. 18 months, something like that. I don't know, 2 years nearly. And went to see a classic movie. Yeah, we went to see the Paw Patrol movie.
Nice. You couldn't convince him to sit through Dune then?
No. Unfortunately not. He didn't even sit through the Paw Patrol movie. We left after 45 minutes. He did love the trailers, actually. There was there's another new Disney out. I can't remember the name now, but it's one where everyone's got like powers and just the one lass doesn't, and that looks quite good. That looks quite funny, and he enjoyed the trailers because they're nice and short. But actually, the Paw Patrol movie wasn't that bad. Like for Paw Patrol, you get some nice backgrounds on Chase. You learn about his abandonment issues and how he can't cope with large cities. So it was quite good on that front. Otherwise, we started watching. Villain has got really into the Hulk, which is fantastically funny, but we've sort of cut down because I think he's starting to try and copy the Hulk a bit, which is not good. And so we started watching Hulk Agents of Smash.
I've heard nothing but good things.
It is brilliant. It is a lot of fun. I mean, it is violent, but it's done in that kind of comic book style, but it is really good. It is so much fun. And it's Liza Dushku and Seth Green. And
it's Paul Dini, isn't it? Who did the Batman animated series? Am I making that one up?
Oh no, I think you were right actually. Yeah.
I'm going to double check now. But yeah, I'm pretty certain.
Anyway, it's fantastic. Yeah, no, that makes sense. The animation is very similar, but it's very cool.
Nice.
So we started watching that. I wish I could say I've been playing games. Oh, I did buy. Actually, I've read the first episode of Tales of Exandria, the Bright Queen, because I bought that. And D&D have brought out several new comic book series as well, and I haven't read the one issue, but yeah, oh my god, Critical Role comics are fantastic. The artwork is beautiful.
I've got the first Vox Machina one, like the first bundle, the TPB. But yeah,
basically that's what I went in the comic book shop. I said, "Do you have any of the Critical Roles?" Yeah, we've got this one. I'll have that. I didn't care. It is really good, and obviously I got excited because I watched Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings and loved it. It was nice to watch. I think that's probably the only thing. I don't think we managed to watch anything else. I'm trying to think if I've managed to watch anything on Netflix, and I don't think I have. Yeah, I'm sorry, being really boring. I tried.
No, it's fine. I just hurt my toe.
But yeah, I know I should have been watching, catching up. I have caught up a bit on The Expanse, and I know I should be watching more. And Emma was out, and I was like, oh, I could watch The Expanse, or I could try and, So yeah, it's just wonderful. I love it. It just entertained me no end. And yes, you are right about certain character and certain bits. Sort of, it does lose its way, but I just love it. It's fantastically funny.
Yeah.
That's otherwise I've been trying to learn how to use QGIS, and that's it. Here you go.
Russ, what have you been up to?
Nice. I've not been learning any GIS stuff, but I think I'm going to start learning Blender. I think it's time. Going to do the donut tutorial.
Cool.
Yeah.
No.
But apart from that, I've got, before watching Shang-Chi, and I forgot to mention this, I finally managed to watch the Hail to the King one shot, which I hadn't seen before. That is very good.
Yeah, it is good.
It's really funny. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I cannot get enough of Trevor Slattery.
Oh, he's amazing. I fucking love him. Like, yeah, I'll watch. Yeah.
It might also be why Shang-Chi was really good.
But I know a lot of people don't like that character, but I think they did it really well. They in Iron Man 3, it was an interesting way of doing the Mandarin and like not having it just be a horrific racial stereotype, but actually kind of pointing out the fact that it is just a random collection of racial stereotypes and fear-mongering. And then in Shang-Chi, they also do really interesting takes on the character. So I think it's done really well. Apart from that, what have I been up to? Watching Hawkeye, obviously, which is great. Also, we've been watching a huge amount of Below Deck. Is this something you're familiar with?
I've not watched it, but I've heard that it's good.
It is fucking compelling stuff. It's crazy, obviously, but yeah, you can bash through 50 episodes of that in 10 minutes. It feels like it is so watchable, even if it is completely awful. But it's quite enjoyable actually. Playing. So I've been playing Forza 5. It's not as satisfying to say as Forza.
No,
but yeah, I've been bashing through Forza 5. I always get a bit overwhelmed and confused with all the stuff that's happening in Forza games, like all the seasonal series and the daily challenges in the week.
Ignore it then.
Because I was trying to do them all, but I don't have the cars to do most of them, so there was no way that I was going to be able to get the points to win the cool thing by the end of the week or whatever. So yeah, I think I'm broadly ignoring all the seasonal stuff and just playing through the sort of the main like story, I suppose you'd call it.
I ignored all the seasonal stuff until after I'd completed everything else.
I think you do like to stand because they all have very specific car requirements for entry in terms of like class, manufacturer, level. So unless you've got a shitload of cars, you're probably not going to be able to do most of the challenges. So you'll be able to do some of them, but not enough to actually get the points you need to win the seasonal challenge cars.
It's good to have options as well. Like, so if you've got one of the cars that you can use in it, it might still not be one you really want to use in it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because sometimes there's some that technically fit the requirements, but you've basically got no chance of doing it in that. But no, I've been having loads of fun with that. Loving the what do they call it? There's like the Trailblazer.
Where you just got to get across the map.
Where it's like, get to this point. There's no route specified, so you've kind of got to do a bit of exploration first and work out the quickest way, and then go back and spank it through as fast as you can.
You should try playing the Eliminator. The Eliminator's the battle.
Do you know what? As sickening as it is that every fucking game has to have a battle royale mode, I don't mind the Eliminator, and I do reasonably well in it, which I think they're two things that don't happen to me in PUBG or Fortnite or anything, which is normally 45 minutes of sitting in a bush and then getting sniped from 6 miles away, which is not a good way to spend half an hour.
I love it personally,
but the Eliminator is actually really good fun.
Yeah,
like it doesn't feel too unfair.
Yeah,
although quite often you're driving around for a good 5 or 6 minutes in that fucking Beetle looking for a car drop thing.
Any car.
Just any car that's not that one. As soon as you see anyone else, you're like, no, I'm still in the Beetle. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah. Go away. I can't because they're in a better car than me. I can't get away from them.
Yeah. But it's quite good fun actually.
Yeah, I like the Eliminator.
But I am loving Forza. That is really good. So I'm spending a lot of time on that, and I'm also knee deep in Beavers still.
How?
With Timberborn, which is so much fun. I've got so many beavers now, Dan. It's not.
You showed me your beavers.
It's not even funny. I've got over 1,000 beavers now.
Why is that funny?
I'm having a bit of a problem at the moment.
You're getting too much beaver.
I've got way too much beaver. There's a problem with food production. I can't keep my beavers satisfied.
Have you got enough wood for your beaver?
There's plenty of wood for the beavers, but the problem is I can't fill all the beavers. I'm not getting enough food production. It's not that I don't have enough farmland, but my crop rotation is out of sync. So like all of it got harvested at the same time, and so now all the crops are growing at the same time, and there's nothing to harvest. So some of my beavers are probably not going to make it through this next growing season.
You showed me your beaver town, and it was very impressive. But I did particularly enjoy when you accidentally blew a load of them up.
I didn't realise that dynamite would actually. I mean, it sounds fairly obvious, but I don't think it would actually kill the beavers that it was next to if you detonated it while they were there.
That game looks like a lot of fun. But
it is a lot of fun. I think I'm probably gonna. I've got like one engineering mega project on the go, and then when that's done, I think I'm gonna finish this one and start a new one because they've released an update with a bunch more mechanics and things, like a bunch more. You can do sort of like mining and smelting now, and they've brought in like a water pump. So at the moment, there's no way to get water like up anywhere, whereas now they've brought in a water pump that will actually like take it from one level, and so you can start building more interesting sort of like locks and dams and things.
You can do more with your beaver.
You can do far more with your beavers, but
probably just straight into your beef.
you can't introduce that
pump your
stuff
beaver.
in a one that's already going. So I think I'm gonna finish off the massive dam and waterfall thing that I'm working on at the moment, and then start some new beavers.
Nice. Yeah, some new beavers
And-
in there.
Literally, as soon as we finish this, I'm going to start playing Halo.
You reckon?
By which I mean, literally, as soon as we finish this, I'm going to start downloading a 60 gigabyte
fucking update. Yeah.
update.
Yes. Yeah, annoying. Cool. Anything else?
No, I think that's about it. Yeah. Below decks and beavers.
Nice.
Below decks with beavers.
Oh, there's no need to get smutty.
I've because you asked, obviously. Thanks, guys. I've
Dan, what have you been up to? Because you're the one that's probably got more time than.
I don't. I've got fuck all time at the moment. I've been to cinema tonight though, so I went to see Eternals. Obviously, really enjoyed that. Went to see Ghostbusters, which I fucking loved. Thought it was excellent. Really, really, really enjoyable. Cried my eyes out. Excellent.
Nice.
Went to see Dune as well, which was really good.
Yeah, I really, really want to see that.
Dune is good. And then a few days ago, I went to see in IMAX the original Matrix film.
Nice. Didn't know that was an
Let me
option.
tell you, it's still fucking great.
Was it
It's still a
filmed
fucking
in?
great film.
Was parts of it filmed in IMAX then, or is it
don't
like
think
was
so.
was it normal aspect ratio on the IMAX screen?
I would imagine so. Yeah,
Because the
It was-
full IMAX is kind of, it's almost square, isn't it? It's more like
The-
4:3.
Yeah, it wasn't 70mm like you get at the big one in London, but it looked incredible.
Nice.
And more importantly, it sounded incredible. It's like you'd feel every gunshot in it.
So
And
the
there is.
sound design is great in the Matrix.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and so like every time it kind of like digitizes the voice, it like really kind of like ear piercing. It was incredible. Well worth a watch. TV series. I've just started watching the last 5 episodes of Money Heist because I watched. I banged through the whole of the first 5 seasons of that. It's enjoyable. It's like 24 in a bank. But
Nice.
it's, I'm enjoying that. Might have started rewatching The Expanse again.
Yeah, I've got Expanse to catch up on. I've got a whole series to watch
Oh God,
before the new one.
Russ, will you just watch The Expanse because season 6 starts on Friday?
I do watch The Expanse. This is not Stranger Things. I'm really excited. I've got a series of The Expanse to watch before the new one starts.
Season 5 is fucking brilliant as well. So, well worth a watch. Naomi Nagata should be talked about in the same breath as Ripley, as far as I'm concerned. She is just an absolute sci-fi icon now. She's one of my favourite characters. Season 5 is where she becomes one of my favourite characters. And Drummer, for that matter, as well. But Drummer's always been one of my favourite characters. So, and
There's
Amos,
not-
but you know, it's different, isn't it?
I'm just going to say, it's not really a dud character.
Well, you know, Alex isn't great, but that's mostly because the guy who played him was a piece of shit. But yeah,
Oh,
the
is he?
character of Alex, yeah. Yes, he's not a nice person.
Oh. I always enjoyed that. So, well.
Yeah, Alex is fine, but yeah, it's they've yeah. What else have I watched? Oh, this series I was talking about. I can't remember what it's called. It's this gaming history series on Netflix. Really good. There's a whole episode on the Mega Drive.
Nice.
And it talks about how they wanted to be more popular than Super Nintendo in America, and like how they plan to do it. And so then there's a whole like 15-minute section on Madden within this episode as well. It's so good, really, really good, well worth a watch. That's on Netflix. I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but it's well worth a watch. American football. Forza, obviously, been playing a lot of Forza. Like
Yeah.
any opportunity I get, I'm playing a little bit of. I haven't played much Forza, but
I haven't done
Any
any
opportunity,
of
yeah.
the You Race a Big Thing ones yet.
no, me neither. Sound very sad about that, but NFL kind of gets in the way of everything this time of year. So
I do have to say the DJs in Forza 5 are even more irritating than the ones in Forza 4.
oh, you reckon? I thought they were less irritating.
No, they're
personally.
really annoying. Like, look, I just want to drive around knocking walls down for a bit. Stop telling me to go and do this, that, the other.
I mean, you were always going to be annoyed by these DJs because they are, I mean, even just remotely positive. So they're not what you want to hear on like the last thing you want in anything is like hi guys, I hope you're enjoying this game. Here's another killer track from this game. It's a point song or whatever it's called. I can't remember what they're called in this.
Oh, a skill song.
Skill song, there we go. Well, I'd imagine you dread it. I imagine you just pull up the car and refuse to move when a skill song comes on.
They're like, it's just it's the bit in between. You only get the DJ when you're not racing, so it is the bit where you are just tooling around, and they're constantly fucking hassling you to go and do something, and people are.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, they just say there is something going on.
And there's people texting you and ringing you all the time.
That's not remotely true. None of this is true.
I mean, absolutely. Yes, it is true. People are constantly getting, oh, hey, look, I've just found an old thing in a barn. Come and have a look.
Yeah, but they say it once and then they shut up about it. They're just informing you they've done it.
Yeah, but then it's actually quite frustrating when you're trying in Forza 4. I was looking for something, and I was like, "Oh, you just said that this was somewhere over here, and I can't fucking find it because they won't."
Especially in this one, though, like the Horizon Festival would be an absolute nightmare to have for real.
Yeah, no, it didn't make any sense.
Like it takes
logistically
years. It covers the whole country, and apparently anyone can drive a car at 400 miles an hour through your house, and you're not allowed to complain because it's all part of the fun of the festival.
Yes, yeah, no, you should. They should not do that for real, ever.
Yeah, let's put a stop to that.
We haven't got much time, so maybe we just list a couple of things that we're quite excited about watching over the next month and a half, or watching or playing over the next month and a half. We kind of mentioned it, like you were talking about playing Halo.
Yeah, I mean, Halo's probably the big one.
Yeah.
So what else is there to look forward to? The new Spider-Man's out not too far, is it?
I know, and I'm very excited about that. That's on my list of things I'm excited about. The Witcher season 2 as well.
Oh, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
More Witcher, please.
Yeah, very excited about that. Just loads of stuff to be excited about. Halo, as we just mentioned.
Looking forward to the Critical Role.
Jack says, fairly certain anything meaningful to do in Forza Horizon 4 showed up with a massive icon on your map. I kind of agree with Jack there.
Yeah, but like your map is nothing but massive icons.
And he says, I hate being on Dan's side of things.
There was a car that was you meant to find, and it didn't appear. It came up as like it's in this area.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the barn. That's the barn find.
You have to, so it gives you a giant purple circle that you've got to then go and try and find it in.
Yeah,
that's the point
which
of
is
the barn find.
Yeah, which is what I did. I still couldn't find it.
5 minutes on YouTube will show you exactly where it is.
100%. If you get frustrated, just you'll find it eventually.
I can't see why it's not working. Anyway, Xbox not working.
Oh, that's not good.
Nope. But I don't know if that's because someone's been pushing buttons.
You?
No, little annoying child.
Don't know. It's good up when you got a kid. It's good up if you ever really wanted to shove a slice of buttered toast into your Xbox and get away with it. Do it when you got a toddler. Blame them for anything.
There you go. So big things excited about Witcher 2, more Critical Role, Halo.
I think it's Halo and The Expanse for me. I've got 2 series of The Expanse to catch up on, which I'm very much looking forward to like carving out some time for.
Please watch season 5 of The Expanse so I can talk to you about it. Like, I really enjoy our Expanse chats, Russ, and you are depriving me of that at the moment. The new Matrix film as well looks good.
Yeah, I don't want to get too excited because, like, if you were to plot the trajectory of the quality of Matrix films, this one is due to be terrible. but I hope it's not.
I threatened while we're in the cinema to stand up at the end and go, "Woo! We should get some sequels of this."
But it went from being like phenomenal to middle of the road to deliberately infuriating.
Yeah, it definitely did that. Jack says, I'm 99% certain that Dan won't play a second of Halo this year. I'm nearly 100% certain. This year is already pretty chock-a-block, so probably next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was going to say I'll play some after this, but I'm actually going to go and edit the Gridiron Gentleman podcast, so before I go to bed. So there's that. Anyway, should we wrap this up then? Are you doing the outro, Duncan?
Wrap away.
Yeah, well, it has been an hour. So is that everything? Has anyone got any more to add, say, or spray?
Any other business?
Any other business?
Oh, okay. So there's a Marveling Marvel podcast went up. We're talking
What?
about the Eternals. Like, it's an hour-long podcast. It's our Eternal spoiler cast, and I reckon we talk about the Eternals for about 20 minutes. There's a lot of bollocks in there, but it's enjoyable bollocks. So I would say I'd get on that and listen to it.
It's very much our brand, that, isn't it? Enjoyable bollocks.
Enjoyable bollocks is
exactly,
basically what we do. Wonderful. So go and check out all the other podcasts. The first of our Christmas movies are up on the Instas and the Twitters.
Yeah, this is
first-
round
so-
one.
The first four matchups. Like, Phil got a bit confused. This is only the first four of the first round, and there's going to be 4 sets of these 4, if that makes any sense.
So there will be 8 matchups in the first round.
16 matchups in total.
4 fours
32,
are 16.
Yeah.
You got 32 films.
Yeah.
And 4
Have
fours.
we got
yeah.
30? We've got
32
okay,
films,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, so there'll
You did
be
the
a whole
graphics,
bunch.
Russ.
Anyway, they are all on our socials, so go and check us out at TMTOOH on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Is
Yeah,
there
you can
Facebook?
if you like, yeah,
you
it's-
want.
I haven't checked it
We probably
in
don't
forever.
have. We probably don't have TikTok, and we definitely don't have Tumblr because that's for nonsense.
We have got a TikTok. I've
Have
put
we got a
one thing up
TikTok?
on it once. Yeah.
Didn't
you put one
Tumblr
thing up on
famously
it.
get rid of all its naughty stuff?
Yeah.
There's nothing naughty on Tumblr anymore.
Oh well, there you go. So we probably could have a Tumblr if we really wanted to. I think is that everything? That was the socials. That was right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That probably did appear on screen as well. It's really cool when I'm watching it and everything appears. And you go,
Do it again if you
generally
like.
we don't. Yeah, we
Okay.
generally don't have a clue. So yeah, check it out on the Twitters and the Instas especially, and encourage Dan to do a TikTok because it'd be hilarious. Thank you very much for giving us your time this evening, and thank you for listening. If you have listened, please try and watch it. But I'm not going to be passive aggressive about this. I don't really mind.
Watch the live stream. I'm not being passive aggressive about it. I'm just being aggressive now.
You are just being aggressive. If you really want to see our faces, otherwise you can just listen to our dulcet tones.
All the Dan's hair chat is going to mean nothing to you audio only people.
Yeah, you do need to see Dan's hair. Right, I think that is us finishing and closing. So, Russ, cheery bye. Say bye-bye.
Laters,
I can't remember
babes.
how Tom, I can't remember how Tom finishes this. Dan, bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you, Duncan.
And it's goodbye from me. Bye-bye.
Is that it? Are you finishing now?
And cue the music.
There we go.